When the world breaks your heart, when it's just too much to bear, today's meditation is the meditation to help you with anxiety, with fear, and with overwhelm. Welcome. You are listening to Our Mindful Nature, a podcast helping healers and those searching for healing respond to burnout, overwhelm, and depression with nature-based meditations for better mental health. I'm your host and meditation teacher, Meryl Arnett. If you would like to access these meditations as standalone audio files for your daily use, please subscribe to my newsletter at merylarnett.com. It's free and you get a new mini meditation each week. All right, y'all, grab your headphones, get a cup of tea, and find a comfy seat. Today's episode is all about turning chaos into calm. You will hear my favorite nature-based soundscape for anxious moments and discover why that very cliche, steady as a mountain, might just be the practice to help you get through the day with a little less stress and a little more ease. As always, today's episode is recorded for my live Monday night meditation class. So let's join in. Hello, friends. Glad to see you all this evening. Thank you for joining. Um, yeah, it's been a tough week. It's been a tough week. And I sat down to think about what we most needed for our meditation practice. And I was thinking about how it has felt sort of witnessing and being in and trying to decipher the chaos of this new administration's move into government and impact onto all of our lives, which has felt monumental. And then I was thinking, man, the last week prior also was kind of tough. Like we were dealing with snow and ice, and it was impacting work and school and schedules. And while we were dealing with that, other parts of the country were dealing with catastrophic wildfires and the impact that that has on their lives. And I had this moment where I don't know if ever, if you're an avid reader, and sometimes sentences just stick in your head. And then days, weeks, months, years later, the sentence just like reemerges for you. Right. And so I was thinking about these challenging weeks. And this sentence, like, just fully formed behind my eyelids. And it was from Rebecca Bradshaw's book, Down to Earth Dharma. Rebecca Bradshaw's a meditation teacher and an author. And she has a chapter about meditating in nature, like why she meditates outside most days. And the chapter ends with the sentence, "It's a wild, wild world. Might as well get used to it." And when I read it, I was like, I love that. That's exactly right. And as I was thinking about these many, many weeks of January, February that we have already lived, it's been a wild, wild world. And when I think about our meditation practice as a support for anxiety, for overwhelm, for fear, I want us to reflect on the tool or the resource or the skill of equanimity that is built in this practice. Equanimity really being the thing that reminds us that we are capable of being steady and still amidst the greatest tempests, right? So equanimity is the wind is blowing wildly around me, and I'm not getting pulled too far in any one direction. Equanimity is the capacity to say, this is what's happening right now. I wonder what's going to happen next. And often in meditation, at least, equanimity is taught alongside the oh so cliche metaphor, steady as a mountain. And it could also be fluid as a river, flexible as a tree, right? The metaphors are pretty endless, actually. The idea being that the weather is changing all the time. And yet, Earth, as this ancient, animate being, continues to persist. Not unchanged, not unscarred, but persists all the same. And I want us to reflect a bit on that changing weather, literally and metaphorically, and our capacity to persist, to be steady amidst that as a tool to support us in this time. And I just want to be so clear that I'm not putting meditation on some sort of pedestal, like you're not going to get upset because you practice. I just don't think that's a realistic expectation. But what I do think is realistic is to remember that our practice helps us come back to center. And we might need to revisit it many times shortly during the day to keep coming back. But all the same, every time we allow ourselves to embody that sense of steadiness, that sense of equanimity, it helps just guide us a touch back to center, a touch back to that sense of steadiness. I'll give you the silliest example today of that, like changing weather pattern. Total fluff, but a real example all the same. So my son's track practice started back today and it conflicts with this class. So it's like a little bit stressful juggling schedules of like who's getting who and where's the other kid going to be and what are we all doing so that I can be here for this. And so I put out some feelers to see if maybe we could figure out a carpool situation. And amazing, this mom was like, got you covered. We will take him to track. And I was like, thank you. Huge stress off my plate. I am so grateful. That was stressful. Now I feel good. Amazing. And then a few hours goes by. I get a text from the mom going, we made it to track practice. Asa didn't bring sneakers. So he's running in Crocs. I was like, stress through the roof because I'm like, man, I reminded that kid 90 times to pack those sneakers. And do I like try to figure out how to get him sneakers? Do I, like I did the whole thing, right? So stressful situation, so happy, everything's fine. Stressful situation again, all in the span of a handful of hours. And that's one tiny, minuscule moment in a day. And each of us lives a million of those in our own individual lives, in the greater societal life that we inhabit. And all of these things changing, 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 changing second by second. And part of our practice is potentially to remember that all of this is weather. Whether that blows in, whether that blows out. It's not to say that we ignore it. It's not to say that we don't engage with it. But in the sense of caring for ourselves amidst high anxiety or fear or overwhelm, this is changing weather. And can we embody that sense of steady as a mountain, or fluid as a river, or flexible as a tree, to remind us of our own capacity to stay here? I'll give us just one more little story before we practice tonight. And this comes to us from a visit to Haleakalā, which is a dormant volcano on the island of Maui. And it's the soundscape we'll hear tonight, actually. So very tall volcano. Yeah. And we were there in the middle of summer. So swimsuit, shorts, flip flops, sweating the whole time, middle of summer, super hot. But we knew we were going to go visit this volcano and we were going to go up to the top. And we had been told it's cold. You need to bring layers, which is almost impossible to imagine when you're like on the beach in the beating sun, dripping sweat, that it's even feasible that you might be cold again at some point. And we journey to the volcano and we start going up. And the higher up we go, indeed, the colder it gets. Same day, same hour, same spot on the planet. And by the time we got to the top, we had pants, we had puffy jackets, we had gloves, we had hats. We were freezing cold. It was stunningly beautiful. Same day, same place on the planet, same hour, make our way back down, shedding layers as we go, dripping sweat by the bottom. And it was this stark moment of here is this structure that has been around for centuries, that is experiencing multiple weathers at the same time. All these layers of weather systems going up, 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 and then down, down, down. And here's this volcano, this mountain just here. And so we'll take a bit of that energy into our practice, into ourselves, a sense of steadiness, because the weather is coming at us, right? It's coming at us. And at our feet might be the thing with the work and the traffic. And at our knees is what we've read in the news today. And at our belly is what our partner said to us, right? All the way up, these layers of things. And we find our equanimity, our steadiness amidst all of that. So let's settle in for a bit of a practice. Yeah. Take a minute to find yourself the comfiest seat you can possibly find for today. You'll hear the sounds of Haleakalā come in. It's recorded by Nick McMahon. Thank you for these wind and birds. So we take our seat. We let our legs rest and our arms rest. We let our eyes close if that feels safe. And if that is uncomfortable, let your eyes be open. And together as a group here, we'll take a deep breath in. And we'll exhale out a sigh. And we'll just do that once more. When you're ready, inhaling in. Exhaling out. And allowing your breath just to flow. And silently to yourself. Now is my time to meditate. Now is my time to meditate. And as you say those words, I invite you just to sit a little bit more. To land here with as much presence, as much purpose as possible. feeling yourself embody that sense of mountain, perhaps. Feeling yourself rooted or grounded towards the earth. Very gently elongating the spine so that you feel tall, lifted. And as steady and strong as we are today, we always invite in softness. Taking a moment just to blur the edges a bit. Softening any of the sharp angles, any of the tightness or the pinching. In particular, paying attention to the belly, letting go of any clenching in your belly. Any gripping across your chest through the center of the heart. Softening along your shoulders. Your jaw. Letting go across your eyes and across your forehead. And as you feel yourself breathing here, let yourself feel that steady presence of the earth. The earth beneath you, the earth at your back. And without any sense of forcing or straining, let your breath mirror that sense of steady presence. You might start to notice that rhythmic flow in and rhythmic flow out. Steady, consistent, timeless. There's nothing for you to change here. There is nothing for you to fix. Your breath simply flows. And you embody the steadiness of that mountain. And it doesn't take long to perceive that changing weather. The external temperature, the internal temperature, the thoughts, the sensations, the stories, both pleasant and unpleasant. It is all weather. And our work, our practice, is to let our breath flow and perhaps to say, this is what is happening now. I wonder what will happen next. And breath flows. Birds chirp. The weather changes. I wonder what will happen next. We'll sit and breathe here a few minutes in silence, allowing the weather to change and embodying the steadiness of that mountain. Feeling your breath flow. Feeling the weather patterns within and around you. Knowing that the sky is vast enough to hold it all. The mountain is steady enough. And you are too. And so your breath grows deeper. Each breath filling all the nooks and crannies of your body. And you might find you wiggle your fingers and your toes, or you move your shoulders or your neck. Together as a group here, we take a deep breath in and we exhale out a sigh. Taking all the time you need to let go of that practice and to blink your eyes open once again. All right, friends, that's a wrap on today's class, all about transforming chaos into calm. I've shared my favorite nature-based soundscape for anxious moments, and we've explored why the old saying, steady as a mountain, might just be the key to navigating with less stress and more ease. Until next time, stay grounded, stay steady, and take a deep breath. I'll see you soon. Thanks for listening to Our Mindful Nature. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider sharing it with a friend or leaving me a review wherever you get your podcasts. It helps others to find the show, and let's face it, we could all use a few more meditators in our lives. Our Mindful Nature is recorded on Muskogee land and produced with the support of Brianna Nielsen. Deep gratitude is offered to acoustic ecologists Gordon Hempton and Nick McMahon for the use of their nature field recordings in many of these episodes. To join my live classes, ask questions, or learn about my teacher trainings, please visit merylarnett.com. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next week.